It's still Thursday, and already a lot has happened. But wait, there's still more to come. After they finish their Passover meal, Jesus and the 11 disciples make their way over to the Garden of Gethsemane. As the lesson points out, the name Gethsemane literally means pressed out. Make no wonder Jesus would choose this place, as he too would be pressed out. So much so that on this night he would sweat blood. The process of being pressed out was a simple one. You took a bunch of olives and you put enough weight on them or pressure on them until the oil poured out. In much the same way, Jesus too would be pressed out by a weight that no human eye could see. The weight? Well, it was the sin of the world, your sin and mine, which would crush out the life of our Savior. And it is this focus of Jesus' prayer. Jesus knows exactly what is about to happen next. He knows that he's about to suffer unlike any other human being has suffered. And while his disciples sleep, Jesus is pleading with his Father. Now, please don't miss this. Before he went to the garden to pray for himself, Jesus first prayed for his disciples. Even though they would not suffer physically, Jesus was deeply concerned for their emotional and spiritual well-being. Jesus knew that his death would test their faith and that Satan would use it as an opportunity to discourage them. Once again, Jesus' love for his disciples was greater than his love for himself. That night, Jesus has only one favor to ask of his disciples. Please wait and pray. That's it. Just pray. 3 times he asks the disciples to pray, and 3 times he finds them sleeping. 3 times Jesus finds himself alone. Next, Jesus prays for himself, and he only has one request. Abba, Father, please remove this cup from me. 3 times Jesus pleaded with the Father, and 3 times the answer came back. The answer to this request was no. There was only one way for humanity to be saved, and it was the cross. So how does Jesus respond when the Father says no? Not my will, but your will be done. And again, the great controversy is being played out. On one hand, we have Judas, who's in the very act of betraying Jesus. Why? Because Jesus said, no, I'll not bend my will to your will. So what does Judas do? Just like Satan, he rebels against his master's refusal to bend to his will. As the lesson points out, in this story, we see Jesus meeting with his Father in prayer while the disciples sleep. And the difference between the two is that Jesus is ready for what comes next, and the disciples are not. Prayer made the difference. Well, that was our nugget for today. Again, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you tomorrow.